Good Wednesday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I am your meteorologist, Peterson. Let's go in and talk about the weather for your Wednesday evening going into your future. We have some stuff that we are going to talk about tonight. Obviously, we will continue to talk about our current weather. We also will talk about our weather for tonight. And then we will also talk about the tropics. We will talk about some temperatures tonight, what's the temperature looking like for the end of the week, going into next week, and what the trends are looking like. And after that, that's pretty much all we're going to talk about tonight. We're not going to talk about too much after that. But let's go on now. And first off, before we get to that, before we get to the weather, we've made it to Wednesday. We made it all the way past Wednesday. All the way past Wednesday. So that means that we are halfway through the week. Halfway through the week as it is about to go into Thursday and Friday, the last 2 days of the week. Work week, I should say. And that means that we only have two more. We already got three knocked out. And so we just got to continue to push through the rest of the week, and then we will be on to the weekend. That, and also, if you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button yet, make sure you go in and do so. We've had 6 people tune in, and we only have 4 likes. If you are part of that too that have not hit the like button yet, go in and do so. It's free, and you can change your mind at any time if you don't know how to. Go in and exit out if you're in full screen. Even if you actually are in full screen, the like button you just press on the stream. And then the like button should be down there at the bottom left. But that's how you go on and do that. What's going on right now in terms of our current conditions right now first? So we're going to talk about what's going on throughout the entire state. And you can see that there is nothing going on throughout the entire state of South Carolina as of 9 o'clock. Now, what about the entire U.S.? We have heavy rainfall going on down there inside of Florida, maybe even going inside Alabama and Georgia. Rainfall going on in Louisiana and southeastern Texas, as well as severe weather going on inside of Colorado, going into New Mexico, Texas. Rainfall going into Kansas, Oklahoma, and even into Iowa, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Wyoming, as well as Montana. And then we have some rainfall that's going to push into California, going to cause some flooding, as flood watches are out over there. Arizona also getting in on some of that rainfall, but everyone else pretty much good. Massachusetts has some rainfall, but I mean, other than that, I'm not seeing anything else. Cloud cover, we do have some cloud cover, especially inside the low country, as we have kind of a little line of clouds moving in from the Atlantic, and then we also do have some low clouds moving over towards Florence as well. If we go on into our cloud cover for the future, you can see that cloud cover, as we push this forward, will continue near the coastal areas. And once you get later into the nighttime, scattered clouds move into the upstate, Midlands, and then even inside of the PD. Moving into tomorrow morning, cloud cover remains scattered, remains on that isolated, scattered side, and then will continue to kind of just dissipate as the day progresses, and we will get relatively more clear as the day progresses. Unfortunately for the coast, it looks like that cloud cover may try to move in from the Atlantic. Current temperatures right now, 75 in Columbia as well as 75 in Orangeburg, 73 inside of Somerville, and 76 in Sumter, 72 in Lugoff, and 76 in Myrtle Beach, 75 in Murrells Inlet, and 73 in Conway, 74 in Charleston, as well as 73 in Greenville, 73 in Spartanburg, and even 72 inside of York and Rock Hill. 74 in Anderson, even 75 in Clemson, and 73 also inside of Greenwood. Low temperatures for tonight, around 63 in Greenville, 62 inside of Spartanburg, as well as 62 in Rock Hill, 62 in Winsboro, and even 65 at Columbia, 64 Camden, Sumter, Orangeburg, and Walterboro, 66 in Moncks Corner, 71 in Charleston, Hilton Head Island, and 67 inside of Georgetown and Myrtle Beach. Rainfall for tonight, for the most part, you're not going to see too much. 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch is possible, but it's going to be very isolated. And that mainly seems to be in that Midland area, to where there's isolated jams for 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch to get going. for any sort of shower activity that goes on. And speaking of crazy score had a 12, no significant weather, as light clouds most likely will continue throughout tonight. SPC outlook, this has not been updated yet, but I bet that when I go back it will be. And of course it is, because it always decides to update right when I start, but they haven't even updated the one for South Carolina yet, so they really haven't even updated yet. But I'm looking at the one for the continental U.S. because that one is out, and there is no severe weather risk for South Carolina, not even a thunderstorm risk either. So we are good for thunderstorms for tonight. Tomorrow, no thunderstorms are expected here either, and Friday, exact same thing, no thunderstorms are expected. No excessive rainfall is expected either. And now with all of that out the way, let's go and talk about the model. So we're going to go on and get into my soliloquy part, where I go on and talk about what I see, what you can see. And as you start off here at 9 o'clock, as we just go in and push this forward, you can see that rainfall for the most part goes away. It does stay mostly dry as we go into around 12, 1, 2, 3 a.m. I mean, you can see some isolated areas of potentially some shower activity, but again, very isolated. You're not seeing too much of that at all, even by 5, 6, 7 a.m. You're seeing like sprinkles, but nothing really too bad at all, just a stray area. Now, that goes all the way to 8, 9, 10, 11 a.m. in the low country, but then once you get to around noon, you're not seeing anything else anymore. It stays relatively dry during that time frame as well. And then once you even get to around 2 p.m., you can see shower activity starts to pop up again inside of not only the Midlands, but also over there inside the Grand Strand by around 6 p.m. Showers and maybe even some downpour activity going on throughout these regions. Some of it may try to move more into the low country by around 8 and 9 p.m. tomorrow night. And then it dries out again. Looks dry as we move into tomorrow night. High pressure is here. It's not really doing too much except for just sitting there trying to resist the rainfall. And then once we get to around 2 p.m. again on Friday this time, it looks like that rainfall in the upstate will potentially start, but it looks like that it's not going to be too heavy or anything like that. So that's the short term. What about the long term? We're going to start off here at the 48-hour mark. And as we just go in and push this forward, shower activity goes on. But again, we're not seeing anything too bad, especially in terms of like huge storm activity, like a low pressure or anything like that starting to pop up. And things start to stay relatively fine. If you were here last night, we were talking about that ridge that was trying to get over into this area. Wasn't really doing too much of a good job. But for the most part, you saw that there wasn't going to be too much unsettled weather inside of this area. There's not really like a major storm system moving through or anything like that. There's no like major trough going in or anything like that. So it's looking like that it will just remain, the atmosphere at least will remain stable. Now, will that resist rainfall? And will that stop rainfall completely? Absolutely not. Rainfall will still occur. Even as you get to around September the 23rd, you see all this rainfall still ongoing through to the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th. Rainfall is occurring here. And that goes all the way through to around September the 30th until finally we get to that 300-hour mark. And that obviously means that rainfall, that all of this that you see on this map is too far out really to talk about right now. But we can look at patterns, and patterns for the most part, even going into early October, seems to be an active start to early October for now. That can change. Changes every single day. Every 6 hours it changes. But that's just what we have for now. So I do want to talk about the temperatures because I said I would talk about the temperatures tonight. If you go on and start this up right here, you'll see for the most part that these warm temperatures are coming back. I mean, as early as tomorrow at 2 p.m. Tomorrow, 2 p.m., it already looks like that rainfall activity, well, not rainfall, but warm activity continues to go throughout the state, and it stays warm all the way through to the 20th, to the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and just look at all this warm air start to occur. Even as you go into like the 25th, the 26th, the 27th, it looks just like a lot of warm air goes on, even as you go into early October as well. Now, what are some of these temperatures looking like? If we go on to shaded real quick, you can see temperatures possibly could get up into the 90s for some. And actually, one thing that I can check real quick, I'm going to shift over here real quick. I can actually go to the actual forecast for the state of South Carolina. And this is a good one right here that you can actually see. I mean, this is tomorrow right here. This is Thursday, tomorrow. High temperatures tomorrow will actually be, for some, inside of the low 90s. If you go into Friday as well, temperatures again inside of the low 90s. Now, some will be in like the mid 80s, some will be inside the high 80s, but there's a good majority of people that could get inside of the low 90s for temperatures, especially inside the Midlands and the Western PD area. But going back, you can see even if we go even further than that, I mean, high temperatures, I mean, like down there, like in Alabama, for example, it could be 100. Over inside of Georgia, it could be up in the 90s again. Where we are, 90s again. North Carolina, 90s again. And that continues all the way throughout the 26th, to the 27th, to the 29th. And it seems like it gets hotter. It seems like we get hotter the more that we go into fall. You can see right here on September the 30th, high temperatures 300 hours out, so it can change. But in the high 90s, low 100s for possibly some people going into late September. So a late September, I don't know if I'm going to say heat wave, but a late September warm-up definitely is in store. When will it happen? Will it be right on September 30th? You know, that's still too far out right now, but definitely warm air is coming back. Hot air is coming back, and we're just going to have to continue to watch for it, though. So, unfortunately, for the cool air fans, it's not going to be too much longer. So, that's it for the models. What about the tropics? So, we now have 3 areas that we're watching for right now. 3 areas. And, obviously, if you have not been paying attention to the weather, you most likely did not see this, but Tropical Storm Gabrielle is now with us. We talked about it this morning. We talked about how Gabrielle was likely to form either as early as 10 a.m. when I made that video, and guess what? It formed at 10 a.m. And that's going to continue to stay a tropical storm until around 2 p.m. on Sunday, somewhere on Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, until it turns into a hurricane. It's going to turn into a hurricane, and it will impact Bermuda. It will impact Bermuda in some way, shape, or form. Now, what will the impacts be to Bermuda? Too far out right now to tell, because it's inside that cone of uncertainty, meaning that it can go anywhere inside of that cone. The eye can go anywhere inside of that cone. So, Bermuda will have to watch for it. Luckily for us, side of South Carolina, I don't think this will impact us at all, really. I mean, we'll look at, rip currents, we'll look at surf and all that kind of stuff when the time comes on Sunday night, Monday. But for now, it looks like that we're not really expecting any sort of like major landfall or anything like that. Unfortunately for Bermuda, though, that's a different story. And that's them for actually, they do actually have the rip current out map out right now. This is for today. This is for tomorrow. They have like a little low risk right here. That's for Charleston County beaches over here into Myrtle Beach, South area beaches. There is a low rip current risk tomorrow, but again, that's nothing really to be too worried for, too afraid for, anything like that. Not really to be afraid for in general. If you were going out to the beaches, but I mean, that's most likely not really going to do much at all compared to a moderate or a high risk if you were going out to the beaches tomorrow. Now, the disturbance behind it. We've already been talking about disturbance 1, this one right here. A tropical wave located near the Cabo Verde Islands continues producing disorganized shower and thunderstorm activity. Environmental conditions are only marginally conducive, and any development of the system should be slow to occur while it moves west at 15 to 20 miles per hour across the eastern and the central portion of the tropical Atlantic. Regardless of development, the system will continue to bring areas of heavy rainfall across the Cabo Verde Islands through Thursday. So this has a 10% chance of forming over the next 48 hours and a 10% chance of forming over the next 7 days. And I'm going to say with this one, this one right here is actually pretty much going to be a miss scenario or a hit scenario. It's going to be either a hit or break situation at this point, because you do have obviously the low pressures going on with this system. You see, well, you can't see it, but the ensembles have all the low pressures everywhere, and all of the low pressures on this ensemble has this thing dying out. So this is a make or break for this. If it does not form, or if it does not rapidly form, it most likely will not form into anything. Now, the one behind it, that's a different story. We'll talk about that in just a second. But if you go on right here, I can actually show you. You can see the low pressures down here at the bottom right corner of your screen. I can circle it. You can see as it moves its way through, it all just dies out as early as like the next, let's see, that's like the next, I don't even know how many hours that is. That's all the way to Friday night, somewhere around there. So that goes all the way through, and it dies out pretty quickly. Yes, you have a couple of low pressures here and there. You're going to have that, but not a strong signal at all. Not a strong signal at all. And then here goes all the Gabrielle's members up here as they all take that curve to the north. Again, no threat for us over here inside of South Carolina. But the one behind it, the one behind Gabrielle and the one behind the area that we were just talking about, is this one, Disturbance 2. Disturbance 2, this one says, a tropical wave is forecast to move off the east coast or the west coast of Africa by Friday morning. Some slow development of the system is possible as it moves west to northwest across the western tropical Atlantic this weekend into early next week. So this has a 0% chance of forming over the next 48 hours and a 20% over the next 7 days. This one is kind of in the same situation, almost. As you go in and push this forward, you can see there it goes down here, all the members going on. And this one, it tries to build. It tries to build, but this one dies out as well. So I'm not really seeing too much with either one of those two systems at all. Now this one, the one in the back, in my opinion, I think that one's a bit too far out. But the one in the front, Disturbance 1, I do believe that one most likely will die out. The one behind, I'm going to wait just a little bit longer to see if the ensembles stay the same. If they're still the same, like tomorrow night or even Friday, then I think that most likely, that probably will be what happens. But that's all that I have for the tropics. Nothing else for me really to say here. So let's go on now, since we're done with the tropics, talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Starting off with Mr. Chris, who says, good evening, everyone. Had a rough day today, feeling rough, and the wife and I caught COVID, and I feeling it. Well, I am sorry to hear that. Very, very unfortunate. Hopefully you two feel better soon. Mr. Anthony says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Mr. Chris also says, please remember to go hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also share with everyone that you know. He's absolutely correct. We've had 20 people tune in, and we only have 8 likes. So if you are part of that 12 that have not hit the like button yet, make sure that you go on and do so. Ethan replies with the date, hello to you. My cousin Cheryl then says, good evening, Weatherman, and good evening, everyone. I hope you all had a wonderful day, and looking forward to the weekend. The weather is supposed to be good, so keep up the good work. Love you, Cheryl. Thank you so much for listening to us tonight and for the message. Ms. Chris has 2 more days to the weekend. Absolutely. Don't have too much longer left. Terrell says, greetings, everyone. Lovely day here. Great to hear that it was a great day. And then my Nana says, "Hello, Jay, a nice day." Same over at my house as well. Let me see. My high temperature today at my house was a bit hotter than yesterday, around 88. Around 88, 87, 88, somewhere around there. But great day nonetheless. My Aunt Lula says, "Good evening, everyone. Beautiful day today." Yes, I did work on my fall garden, nephew. In spring, tomatoes and etc. and vegetables are planted in the fall because of bugs in the summer. Well, thank you so much for that information. Because obviously I don't know, I do not have, too much information on plants and when they're supposed to be planted or anything like that. So, thank you so much for that information. And then Mr. Michael comes in and says it looks like more of a fish storm than anything. This season so far, we have been fortunate not to be struck by a hurricane. Absolutely correct. Now, does that mean that the hurricane season is over? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah, I know. Some people may be shocked. Some people may be shocked by that. But the season is not over. We still have until November the 30th. Or not even that. December the 1st. When December the 1st hit, then we can be like, okay, we're done. We're over now. But until then, we still have the rest of hurricane season. We just passed peak hurricane season as well. We haven't even gotten into October yet, which, October we've had storms like, I believe Hurricane Matthew back in 2016 was an October storm, if I remember correctly. And then even Hurricane Helene, which came in like late September, the day after my birthday, September 27th, that storm came in towards us. And then obviously we know what happened after that. So pretty much the moral here is that this season is not over and you still have to continue to watch for it. But that's all that we have inside of the chat for tonight. So we are going to go on and talk about the 3 locations outside of South Carolina. We might be asking, what are those 3 locations? They are Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Duncan, Oklahoma. And the reason why we talk about those 3, about to get back to 4, is because we have people from those locations who watch almost nightly. And so that's why we have this. Starting off with Raleigh first, we have low temperatures tonight at 61, high temperatures tomorrow at 77, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 61. There is a slight chance of rain tonight, and then tomorrow night, no rainfall is expected at this time. So starting off with severe weather, we do in fact have no risk for any sort of severe weather. You are good in terms of severe weather. But what about excessive rainfall? Fortunately for you, there is no excessive rainfall that is expected either. Philadelphia being the second forecast. Which, let me see this real quick. I think I actually may or may not. I don't think this one updated. So I'm actually gonna go on and read it from over here because it's updated over here, but not over there for some reason. I don't know why. Low temperatures tonight at 64, high temperatures tomorrow at 81, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 62. There is a chance of showers and patchy fog tonight, and then also tomorrow morning as well. So fog is expected, but it's pretty going to be patchy, so it's not going to be too much, but definitely something to still watch for. And then in terms of severe weather, there is no severe weather that is expected for you. For excessive rainfall, being the secondary thing that we look at, nothing there either. And then the final location, again, I don't know what happened with this, but this is also not updated. I got it right here, though. With Duncan, Oklahoma, you have low temperatures tonight at 68, high temperatures tomorrow at 91, and low temperatures tomorrow night at 65. There is a slight chance of thunderstorms tomorrow during the day, and then there also is a chance of storms tomorrow night as well. No precipitation is expected at all tonight. Severe weather, you actually do have a chance for severe weather tomorrow. You do. An isolated risk is there, marginal risk of severe weather. That's level 1 out of 5, and that is for a 5% chance of damaging winds and a 5% chance of damaging hail. So it doesn't seem, big. Obviously, it's just some isolated activity, but it's something that you have to still watch out for. And then for excessive rainfall, believe it or not, you actually have a risk of excessive rainfall on Sunday. Sunday, isolated flash flooding is possible for you as well. So that's it for, seems like, for the 3 locations. So what's going on right now throughout the entire U.S.? Heavy rainfall, showers, and thunderstorms, some severe, will persist across the plains in the Mississippi Valley through Friday. Increasing tropical moisture from the remnants of Mario will bring showers, thunderstorms, and flash flooding across much of Southern California and the desert Southwest through Friday. We talked about that at the beginning, about how a good amount of California has a flood watch out due to moisture coming in from the Pacific. So that's all that we're looking at for our look for the entire U.S. We do have some air quality alerts out, though. Places like Dallas, Fort Worth, going into Houston, going into Atlanta, even going into Memphis, Tennessee again, St. Louis again, down there into Cincinnati, Ohio, and even going into Indianapolis inside of Indiana has an air quality alert out, southern Indiana. And then Nashville, Tennessee also is one of those areas who also has an air quality alert out. And then Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is also one of those areas that has an air quality alert out, and that is for, obviously, that is for pretty much a warning just to not be outside as much, trying to limit your time outside if you're out there in those areas. But that's all that I have for tonight. If you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button yet, make sure you're going to do so. We're at 583 subscribers, trying to get to 600. We're almost to that main goal, 17 away. Top fans for tonight: Mr. Chris at number 1, Trailer at number 2, and then Ethan at number 3. Congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans for tonight. If you want to be a top fan, you can. You just have to be here early and also be active inside the chat, so just more than 1 or 2 chats. I will be back tomorrow morning for your Thursday morning forecast update. Make sure that you are there. The drought monitor is coming out tomorrow evening. The drought monitor is coming out tomorrow evening. Make sure that you are there so you can have your prediction out. Also, don't forget, I've been talking about it for the past couple of nights, but the Hurricane Hugo recap is coming up on Sunday night. And then we'll also have our week forecast for the week of September the 21st going into September the 27th for that week forecast on the same night. So that's what we will be doing on that night. So a lot still coming up. Make sure that you go on and hit those 2 buttons before you leave here tonight.